A long time ago, I saw a video done of Iolanthe, and it was the Stratford Festival in Canada. And it was a 1980s video, and they had this cool production where they were bringing out boxes and they were unfolding scenery from boxes, and I fell in love with that idea. So I have to give a big shout out to the Stratford Festival and this Canadian theater festival and this 1980s production, because I fell so in love with that idea that we thought we would try and mimic what they did here too. So we actually have a lot of stuff that folds out onto this blank stage, and I'm going to show you how we did that stuff. When the audience enters the theater, they get to see this box sort of front and center. It's got Iolanthe painted on the side and on the front, and we've got some really nice, we kind of fake the boards here. This was a while ago painted by John Mayer, who's an excellent painter. Painted this toggle. I love this because the whole thing is painted faux, so it looks like there's a toggle board there, and when you got the stage lights on there, it's very convincing. But then over here, this is for real. That toggle's actually there. Okay, but what's inside this box is basically an Acadian forest. And so under here, under the lid, we take off the lids. I'll show you. I'll unpack everything. Okay, so this is kind of fun because all of this scenery packs out of that one single box. And that's a fun thing for the audience then too. And so inside the box, what is there? Well, there's these rocks, and I'll show you a little bit about these things. There's fabric that kind of goes under the bridge. There's a bridge, of course, and the lids to the box actually have cattails and grasses that unfold from it. But this is all from that Canadian video. I loved it so much so this is really a big homage to that whole concept. All of this folds, you just lift up on this, and it just folds down into the box. Okay, so this whole thing folds down too. Actually, that would probably be folded down first. Absolutely it would. Boom. Love these things, this whole thing fits into the first flap of the box. So the box is really, you have to just sort of think of it like a cardboard box that just gets flipped open. Lots of hinges here. This thing is hinged. This whole thing, this piece, again too, just lifting up on the rock here. This whole thing is hinged. And then the river is just cool because it's just some, sparkly fabric that is flowing under the bridge. And this does bear weight, so actors are actually, that whole thing sits on top of the bridge like so. And so how do we make this stuff light enough? Well, what I'm standing on right now is mostly styrofoam, lightweight stuff. So this whole thing right here is basically made out of styrofoam. So hinged together here and here, just flips open. I'm using basically a styrofoam and then cheesecloth. When I was in grad school, we called this cheese balling, but basically you're taking styrofoam, and you could do this with a mix of Elmer's glue and joint compound. Something that I like now is using Sculpture Arts coating, or Sculptor Coat. So if you Googled Sculptor Coat, it's not cheap, but it's good. It's really good. And if I were to do this again, instead of using cheesecloth on the back side here, you can see that I've just basically taken cheesecloth and covered it with Sculptor Coat, so it kind of gives it a plasticky feeling. It's sort of like you're making homemade fiberglass, but without all the fumes and chemicals. But you know what works really well is paper towel. If you just use paper towel with the sculptor coat material, that's what I kind of did then on the front here. Looks great. There's a little bit of cheesecloth under here too. But the whole thing has, so this is a masonite covering, but then I carve the shapes out of styrofoam. And then I carved the shape out of masonite too, so the actors are standing on masonite, which is just glued to styrofoam, like the big pink sheets of styrofoam if you look at it. And then it's just very hingeable, so now I can attach these hinges to the wood frame that's beneath it. I mean, this took a little bit of thought, of course, but let me just kind of walk you through some of these rocks. So these rocks are just placed here. So these rocks are just placed down on the ground, and they just look really simple. These are great. And the audience looks at those and go, oh yeah, rock formation. They all know that it does. It looks like something that pops out of a river. But again, too, it's just really simple. I'm just taking pink styrofoam from the home center, wherever you have, Home Depot, Menards, whatever. And then masonite, hardboard. Okay, so 1/4-inch hardboard, it's real thin. Hardboard's the heaviest thing here, but if you're just gluing it to styrofoam, the whole thing is lightweight and pretty strong. And then you just you take a rasp and just basically you're carving shapes out of styrofoam, which is not tough to do because it's styrofoam. And then making rock formations like that. So that's what this whole thing is like. It just is all unfoldable. And then of course you got to paint. What did we paint the cattails on? Just Luan. It's just Luan back here. It's like what you would put in for underlayment in your bathroom. Okay. And then I have basically just screwed to the box fake grasses. And some of these are really nice looking. So I love this stuff up here. Almost mimics the cattail kind of look. And that just sort of masks, the other stuff. And it seems to kind of blend in okay with the painted stuff, because obviously I totally get it. I know the convention is that it's all cartoony, so what are you doing with the realistic looking grasses? You know what? It's basically there just to mask the actual box parts and the 2x4s and stuff, and the audience doesn't give it a second thought. They're fine with it. It doesn't bother them that we're maybe breaking a convention here for this. So anyway, this is what's in the big box.
Okay, so there are 2 panels that make up the top of the box. Each of these panels is rigged up with like cattails and swampy grasses. There's basically a strap of Velcro. We just peeled the Velcro away, and then we are able to hinge up the back panel and then the front panel. And so these are just basically hinged to the back of what looks like just a normal crate top. And they're both rigged up this way. So then to bring them back down, we just flap down the front. But you have to do this in order. You flop down the front one, you flop down the back one, and then you just fasten the Velcro again. And now you can pick it up and you can carry it back over to the box and put it right back on the box. Really pretty simple. This is one of the simplest parts of the whole design. Probably the hardest part of the whole design is getting it all to fit inside the box. And that did take a little bit of brain power. And a lot of elbow grease and even more trial and error. And so this is a 3-sided box. There is no back to the box because we never show that side to the audience anyway. But here I'm just sort of showing you how this stuff all has to fit into the box. And again, this was just trial and error. You just have to try a way to make it work, and then when that doesn't work, you try a new way to make it work, and when that doesn't work, you just keep repeating the process. There's no great way to draw this out. I'm sure somebody out there would be fantastic at drawing this out, but I sure wasn't. This is how it worked for me. And then the lids that also have those paintings on the back, they fit right on top. And so they're in two pieces, and they really kind of hold the outside walls and the back together. They keep them from flopping around because remember, there is no back on this box. So it really does help to have the tops to make it all rigid. But here you can see how everything's packed in there. You'll see that we've got the fabric that we use for the stream just sitting on top of the rocks, which are sitting on top of the bridge. And then you can see hanging down from the tops the cattail paintings and stuff. But here you can actually see too that we do have this thing on wheels. So with everything put together, here is the fold-out sequence for Act 1. You gotta love it when audience members clap for your scene change.
Hey you guys, if you like that video, I've got another video just like it about Big Ben. Big Ben from London and how it folds out for the same play Iolanthe. If you like this video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and take a look around the channel. And then if you like it, subscribe. It's a creative life, you guys. My name's Pete. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.